Last night, Peoria and Woodford County Republicans held a forum for gubernatorial candidates vying for the Republican nomination, and 5 of the 6 candidates that have been certified for the ballot showed up. We'll give you a preview of, some of the things you're going to hear about. Now, the forum last night, there's no way we can do the whole thing, so I just picked the first 2 questions and a segment close to the end that we'll highlight. So we'll hear some of the candidates on their take of COVID-19 and the governor's reaction to it. Plus, we'll hear now about crime. So last night in Peoria and Woodford County, you had the GOP there hosting this forum. And again, 5 of the 6 GOP candidates showed up. We'll hear them all. Except for the one that didn't show up, of course. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop at 7:11 now, and if you want to chime in, you can always contact me via Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just search out Bishop on Air. And again, we are exclusive on 92.7 FM and also on the WMAY mobile app. Some people got thrown around this time yesterday whenever 9:70 a.m. was now the lake. So stick with us here if you want Springfield's news and talk. Again, on 92.7 FM and on the WMAY mobile app. All right, so let's get to it. You had State Senator Darren Bailey, Jesse Sullivan, Gary Rabine, Max Sullivan, and also former State Senator Paul Schimpf there. Aurora Mayor Richard Irvin was not in attendance last night, even though he's got the most money thus far and he's on the ballot. He was not part of last night's forum, and we'll hear some of the reaction from some of the candidates on that a little bit later on. But let's get to the question first up about crime. And Jesse Sullivan was the first to answer a question, and it was indeed about crime in Illinois. And we'll hear again each of the 5 candidates on their take of what's going on here with crime in Illinois. Again, this is from last night's Peoria and Woodford County Republican Forum of gubernatorial candidates, now at 7:13 on WMAY.
When I'm governor, we are going to repeal this anti-police bill right away. Repeal the anti-police bill. And that's what the law enforcement officers around the entire state call this bill. It's not the Safety Act, it's the anti-police bill. And there's a reason why we actually, in our campaign, have the largest active coalition of existing sheriffs around the state of Illinois have gotten behind me in this campaign. And there's a reason for that, because I have protect and serve in my core. I was actually over in Afghanistan as a civilian intelligence analyst. We were putting together local police forces. And in doing that work, we lost 36 people that we would always put their photo up on the church tent that we had, and we would read from the Bible. There is no greater love than this, to lay down one's life for a friend. We now have these corrupt war zones back here in our state where our law enforcement officers are putting forward their lives, sacrificing themselves and their families so that they can serve us well. And so we need to have their back. And when I'm governor, we are going to be the most pro-law enforcement state in the nation. We are going to make the streets safe here in the state of Illinois.
So that was Jesse Sullivan. The same question went to Gary Rabine, who lined up his response, and in particular at last night's GOP forum with Peoria and Woodford counties. Here's Gary Rabine.
I won't sleep at night until we have exceptional public safety in the state of Illinois, and that doesn't happen until we repeal 3653 and we eliminate the sanctuary state law that we have in Illinois. We looked at the city of Chicago, 5 times more murders in the city of Chicago than the city of New York. And New York is no safe haven. 5 times more murders. It's sickening. It's evil. And we got to be able to also recall a Kim Foxx or any crazy communist state's attorney. And it's not just the city of Chicago. The sanctuary state bill, what Browner did was crazy and evil. And then what Pritzker did to even put more distance between local police and federal police. ICE and federal police have no communication today with any of our police. I talked to a sheriff's deputy, about 3 weeks ago. I was in Southern Illinois. A buddy of his, another sheriff's deputy, pulled over a van. 9 young men in the van, under 13 years old, he estimated, Hispanic. 3 adults in the van. An hour later, after they called somebody over that could speak Spanish, another police officer, These kids would say nothing. An hour later, they had to let these people leave, these 3 adults with 9 kids in the van. They couldn't reach ICE, usually be ICE or federal police. They'd get in front of them and they'd understand what's going on. They'd understand more about what might be going on. Didn't happen. This has got to stop. I won't sleep until we have exceptional public safety in the state of Illinois.
So again, that's Gary Rabine. Let's hear now from Max Sullivan. And if people don't know Max Sullivan, he is somebody who immigrated to the United States 30 years ago from Africa. He's a lawyer. He's a teacher of the Constitution, and a whole bunch of other things. Definitely looking forward to talking more with Max Sullivan in the weeks ahead before the June 28th primary. But here's his response to the issues of crime in Illinois and how to deal with it. This is from last night's GOP forum.
We know the problem. Here's the solution. 3 things, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing I'm going to do as governor, increase the budget and funding for public safety. Right now we're at about 4%, 5% of the budget. That's not going to cut it for law enforcement. Number 2, we're going to make sure that we make criminals liable again. We have laws. Just enforce them. Number 3, this is political, and this is one of my frustrations, especially with the Republican Party. We've given up. We've given up. We've given up on Cook County. We've given up on a lot of these seats. There are 59 senators, 118 state reps. We need to compete every seat. We need to compete. I'm tired of going into ballot box or ballot booths to vote, and there's no candidate for the Republican Party. We're going to change that. I'm going to be the governor that's going to support all 118 state reps and 59 senators. There's got to be a Republican Party candidate in every one of them. God bless you.
Again, Max Sullivan, he is another Republican that's certified for the June 28th primary ballots. Let's hear now from Paul Schimpf, former state senator who's vying for the Republican nomination at last night's Peoria and Woodford County Republican Forum.
The process by which it was passed was a travesty and a slap in the face to all of our law enforcement heroes. That bill was passed at 4 a.m. in the morning during a lame duck session. I stayed up all night so that I could be there and vote no. You know, if you don't show up to vote as a senator, it counts as it's the practical effect of a no vote. But I stayed up and I went there because it was important to cast a no vote and say that that act was absolutely not right. Part of our New Start for Illinois program that my running mate Carolyn Schofield and I are running on is the idea that we need to increase legal protections for our law enforcement and for our first responders. The way we do that, we have hate crimes laws in Illinois. Well, you know what? If you go after a cop, that should be considered a hate crime.
So again, we're hearing some of the highlights from last night's GOP forum. You had 5 candidates there, including Darren Bailey, and here's his response to the question about crime last night at the Woodford and Peoria County GOP forum. Here's Senator Darren Bailey asked how he would address crime.
Restoring Illinois has to start with safe streets. Whenever Sheriff's Deputy Sean Riley was killed in my district, I introduced SB 3899 to allow for a judge to inflict the death penalty on any cop killers. We have got to start making a stand. Friends, there is no hope as long as cities like Chicago are able to allow the violent crime that they are. Governor Pritzker has destroyed Chicago by ending cash bail, by allowing violent criminals to roam free. As your governor, we're going to stop that. We're going to bring integrity to our police officers by having their back, by defending them, by funding them. That's how we get Illinois back on track, friends. So I look forward to enacting that kind of legislation that will get our streets safe again.
So coming back after the break, we will hear from the candidates, 5 of 6 that were there, on some of the issues concerning COVID-19 and an executive's authority. That's next here with WMAY. Now, 7:21. I'm Greg Bishop. Thanks for hanging out here on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and